there a second?
Second.
Been moved and seconded, any further discussion? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, same sign. Motion carried. 5-0. Number 20, Cheryl Malt Beverage Appeal and Discussion Request. Josie?
Hi. First, I'll start by passing out our letter. Zach, you want one?
Oh, yeah.
Well, here, I'll just give you the rest. Merry Christmas.
Well, why don't you read the letter so Zach can hear what
Basically all it states is that,
who's this letter from and?
this is from the United Methodist Church.
Okay.
And it has given us a unanimous vote that says that they, support us having our CMD license at the hat shop. I guess I wanna start by asking if you guys have any questions for me about what we're doing down at the shop, or,
Well, just a minute, Zach, did you understand what the letter is about?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, so go ahead.
I guess I just wanna start by asking if you guys have any questions for me about what's going on down at the shop, or just any questions, or if I can answer anything, or for you.
What was the other problem with the planning and zoning besides?
I don't think that we actually have a planning and zoning problem, we're just asking for our CMB. The only thing that we were coming here to ask permission for last week was, or last meeting was to open our back door, so that way we can network when we do like our, Cowboy Christmas and we rent the city building. We just want customers to be able to use that also and open our doors and have access to the back of the building.
But
I
not
think-
the outside of it.
Not on the outside of the building, no, but we have a lot of photographers that utilize the back of the building. We have the Elgin that is behind us, we just wanna we want access to our back door, allowing customers to also use that. We, I think, had a little miscommunication as far as what we are using as a term of bar versus what you were thinking term of bar. We're not open past 3 o'clock in the afternoon on a Saturday unless we have a special event. Our hours may alter or change a little bit, but we're gonna be within reasonable hours. I have kids at home, I certainly don't wanna run a bar or be open late. But we do have what's called a branding bar and our hot bar. It's kind of the theme that we've stuck with through traveling on the road, so we can kind of direct our customers to different things, keeping within the Western theme, just branding ourselves, basically. The back room, we do have a seating area back there. As customers come in, it takes about 45 minutes to an hour to do hot work. Especially if we get a large party coming through, like our bachelor parties or Cowboy Christmas, this gives them a setting to sit down, have a conversation, relax, and wait for their hot services up front. We offer them a beverage, whether it be a beer, a water, a pop, something like that. We're not just back there slinging beers and running a honky tonk, I promise. We might have some live music from time to time, but within reason. We're not gonna be open late. The only time we did stay open late was for a Black Friday event. So that's the extent of that, or maybe our street dances. Other than that, we have families at home that we would rather be at home with than honoring people.
Well, I have a question, I guess
Sure.
I don't understand it all, but when you have the back door open
Uh-huh.
and you have a group down there, aren't they gonna go outside and start drinking beer in the alley?
Absolutely not. We can rope off that back area, and we just have a few handful of people coming in, and they're typically farmers and ranchers. They're not really a rowdy crowd. If we have a rowdy crowd, then I don't want them in the store. I have my whole life invested in that place. I promise you, I'm not looking to have anybody ornery in there or leaving the building. When we brand though, our branding irons, we burn hair. We have all these little mini tiny branding irons, and hats are actually made out of fur and hair. A lot of our wallets and purses and things like that are made out of cowhides, and we burn all of that. So when we heat up our irons and we stamp that onto an object, the shop literally smells like burnt hair for hours. It stinks really bad. So we just wanna open the place up and let it breathe and have some sunshine come in, and we'll rope off that back area and not allow customers to be in the alley. If we ever decide we wanna do an outside event, we're gonna come and talk to you guys just like we do for the street dance. We promise you, we're not looking to be ornery for you.
Chris, could I answer your question about zoning?
Sure.
Okay, it states in the city codes that no license shall be issued for the sale at retail or any enhanced cereal, malt beverage on premises which are located in areas that are not zoned for that purpose. And our zoning book says that downtown, which is general commercial and limited commercial, is not zoned for alcohol. And that's why she needs a conditional use permit.
Right.
But I don't think she'll have a problem with it.
Downtown's not zoned for, if I wanna put up a tavern,
No,
They used to have them.
No, the.
You get a conditional use permit, and they permit you to do it then.
Do we have anywhere that would be zoned to allow a tavern without a conditional use permit?
I don't think so, Zach. Margot? Margot says no. If you couldn't.
I guess maybe that's a
figure it out.
question for a different day, but it just seems like that we make people get a lot of conditional use permits and don't, it seems like we're making people jump through a lot of hoops for things that could be streamlined a lot faster instead of waiting on planning and zoning. You know, if we can list out more things in certain zones, but that's a different conversation.
But Zach, you can't overrule the zoning books or the zoning regulations, and I read Margot's notes that she's looking for somebody to redo zoning, and I'm hoping we can correct a lot of this. And redo the new book.
Margot?
The only place it refers to taverns is under conditional use permit, but the interesting part of it is that they're only allowed in, general commercial and light commercial.
Yes.
So, I mean, she's got that part of it.
Yeah.
And the reason we didn't raise the flag on this thing to begin with is, this is not a normal deal. This is not a,
I have a bar, but I don't have a bar. I have a place for you to sit, just like a breakfast bar.
I realize that, Margot, but there is state statutes that we have to follow and cannot rule out.
it's whatever you guys want to do. That's just why nothing was said in the beginning, is because it's not a normal situation. And frankly, if she applies for a CUP with us, our recommendation is gonna come back to you for a final say anyway, so.
But at that time, we would probably approve it, it's just a
I
matter
mean,
of
my intent
analysis.
has never been to try and take the CMB from Josie. It's been about making sure that we're doing this the right way. Just doing it by the letter of the law. I don't have any intention, for me anyway, of trying to take her CMB from her.
No, I thought it was a very
Can you
unique
read
idea.
can you read the statute again? Or where it says that I have to
Okay, it's
rezone the
3-209, and it's A, it says, no license shall be issued for sale at retail of any enhanced cereal, malt beverage on premises which are located in an area that is not zoned for that purpose. And
But-
general commercial,
Technically, general commercial is zoned, I'm gonna ask questions, cause I want to understand
okay,
also.
that's-
So basically, the building is proper as far as what it needs to be zoned, so I guess I'm not sure what
well,
the
when you-
holdup is.
when you added alcohol, that.
I don't, I just have up to 6% alcohol, which I don't need a bar permit for. I'm not a bar. I only serve up to 6% alcohol and maybe 5 beers a week, other than a street dance. I mean, I don't sell
Well, there's another one in here too, Josie, I might as well bring to your attention, because I intend to ask the city, an attorney to maybe outline what's in the state statutes for you. I mean, I thought this was a neat idea when we first started it, and I still think it's a neat idea. But I just think we need to come into compliance with the regulations.
Okay, do you mind if I get my sister on the phone? She's a little more aware of this. She just got caught out of a meeting and she wasn't able to be here. She's had issues at the courthouse. And she also has gone over all of this pretty detailed. Would you mind letting
No,
that
go ahead.
happen?
And the next city code I'd like to bring to your attention is 3-218. And that says there has to be 2 restrooms.
2 restrooms?
I have a problem bringing that one up because we've got other places
Hey,
in town
can
that
you
are not,
guys meet
I'm not gonna make,
Okay, how far away are you?
we've set the standard by issuing CMBs to other people that
Okay.
don't have 2. And
Yeah.
now we're gonna try and make
You-
Josie jump through that too. I don't think that's fair. We've set that precedent already.
I'm here right now, but we need to answer some more questions and you're a little more aware of those questions for Ruth. Thank you. She's on her way down.
Zach, would you like to jump into this 3-218?
I can pull it up. I actually wrote a whole memorandum exactly on this.
Okay.
You know, I hesitate to read a part of the statute without reading the whole thing. I get that that's not easy to do in terms of where we are right now. But, you know, I can't tell you how many times I think I got exactly the right thing until 2 pages later on the same thing, it says except for exactly the thing I want. So that's part of it. The other part is, I guess I'm a little bit, not sure what the issue is with just doing the conditional use permit, because it's true that, they would need one, but we also have it available, it's right there, in the law. I believe that, they have to, I can find the exact wording in the memo, but as long as the council finds that it's in the best interest of people in marrying or not, an obstruction or something similar to that, they're welcome to grant it.
I think I've stated that I think she can get the conditional
Mhm.
use permit, but if the city code says, hang on,
And it provides the exception that the city council can grant the conditional use permit.
Are you reading that from city code?
this is city code that I was reading about the restrooms, yes. 3-218.
Can you read the other, I guess Nikki will be here in just a second. She's got a book for you. She did quite a bit of homework.
Both of them,
One thing that Tiffany and I thought was interesting was, when a liquor license is issued, there's several people that sign off on it. Doesn't say a thing about zoning.
but it does in city code.
I understand that, but I'm kinda going, okay, so maybe
Yeah.
something needs to be cleaned up here, because there's nothing on the permit for me to check, sign, look at, nothing.
Maybe we need to change the permit then.
That's a state permit.
It's the Attorney General's permit, so we can't modify it, and that, they have to have copies of that with the application. They have to have a copy of the completed application, once approved by council, so there's just no way for us to modify that,
Thank you.
because we have to use their permit. But we have discussed that, and I think what we'll probably do, city code also states that we have to have the background check done and then, inspection by the fire chief. And so we've come up with just a simple statement that says they've completed that with their signature and the date and everything. So we're gonna do the same with Margot, when we have the applications come in.
Do you have something on there about the bathrooms, because there's nothing in regulations about bathrooms
On the application,
somewhere? If it's in city code,
It is city code.
So will you pull everybody's permit that only has one bathroom with a beer permit?
I don't know.
Cause you can't do one for one and not for the other.
yeah,
I
That's your
understand
rules.
that, but doing one wrong doesn't make everything right. either,
No.
So,
Absolutely not, but,
we have to start
could
somewhere,
you,
Josie.
could you please repeat your first concern?
Okay, that was a CU.
I think it was was it 208?
That was city. About,
one was 3-218.
okay, the other one is, 3-102, and it says that a license or permit. Okay. No license or permit shall be issued for the sale of an alcoholic liquid or cereal malt beverage if the building or use does not meet the zoning ordinance requirements of the city or conflicts with any other city laws, including building and health codes.
Is that in your cereal malt
I don't think
beverage?
you're gonna have a problem with the conditional use permit, Josie, I really
Is,
don't.
yeah, I understand, but hang on, is that in the cereal malt beverage laws?
Oh,
Or is that
sure it
listed
is.
somewhere else? You said it was 3-201.
It's under Article 1, general provisions of the city code.
I don't see anything about that.
3-201 or 102.
It's 3-102.
Okay.
No, 3-201. Oh, sorry, I see what you're talking about. 3-102, yeah.
So basically, that says the same thing. And our problem is, I don't think we can home rule out of any of these codes right now. So,
So we're just up at three, so I guess what I'm asking you is for the next, I guess, how would you like us to pay for our building? I mean, honestly, that back room is booked for the next 6 months. And so for the next, we have artists in the back room that have used that back, or that have that back room. We have parties that are booked for that back room, artists that are booked for that back room. The last artist that came through, I guess, we'll go through your process. Thank you, Ruth.
you just have to understand, Josie, all I'm asking is that we comply with the city code.
I have came here from day one, Ruth, to follow your rules, and I have done it with respect and courtesy. I respect you a lot, and I am really bummed that y'all couldn't come to me and ask me,
it's
to
my
do this
opinion.
before we kinda drug each other through the mud and as far as through the newspaper and stuff like that. I guess I just would ask that if you wanna work with me, come and work with me. Let's not do it.
Well, I think Dave has something to say on that, do you not, Dave?
Well, I'm curious about this 3-102, section D says nothing in this section shall prohibit the governing body from granting a waiver for good cause shown, and upon a finding by the governing body that the proximity of the subject established is not adverse to the public welfare or safety.
And Mr. Mayor, for what's worth, that's what I was referencing, and that was what I was saying, is as long as you can find that, we should, as far as I'm aware, we should be fine.
Okay.
Now, because, again, I did, write up a memorandum on this. That being said, I'm a little bit hesitant to, essentially litigate all the legal merits on the fly right now, because, I believe that the waiver clause is enough to make us good to go. But if we wanted to decide it all right now, I would have to go look at all these ordinances if we wanted an answer from my end. But that being said, that, the thing you just read was exactly what I was referring to.
So what's the process of doing that? Is that something we have to vote on?
Well, so we had the ordinance that you were looking at, last time, I'm not sure, because I was gone for the last meeting. But it was my understanding that you were, the city council intended to use that ordinance for the 300-foot rule as well. And I can't recall, what happened at the last meeting on that?
It was a resolution, and we denied it because we had these other problems.
Okay.
But she presented us a letter, so we can go back and do a new resolution for you. And I think it will be accepted.
I don't, we did recall us denying anything. I think what we did was
Yeah.
instruct the chief of police
Yeah.
to,
We addressed two other CUPs last time.
yeah.
Okay, this is the one that.
Well, we can pull up in the packet are the minutes from last meeting,
Well, we have it
so that will
in
tell
this
us,
packet, yeah.
yeah, what exactly was done. That way there's no confusion.
Okay, ordinance 1484 CMB exemption for J.R. Hatter. And it says, holder advised that Josie Reed had asked to have her property exempt from the 300 feet from the doorway of the church to the doorway of her business. Ordinance 1484 has been drafted at Reed's desire, as she explained her desire was to open up the back door of her structure, which opens into the alleyway, and have her patrons partake and consume in the, out the back door. Discussion held, verbal move to deny the approval of the ordinance exempting 308 East Main J.R. Hatter's restrictions related to sales and consumption of alcohol and cereal malt beverage. Klein seconded, motion carried 4-0. So we denied that resolution. But she can get that because the last meeting, Roger told us that we haven't received this letter yet from the church, which we have now. So I don't see a problem with that.
I have to clarify, I don't think the request was to consume and partake in drinking beverages in the alley. It was just to have access through the door in the alley and to have the garage door open. And it was never to have patrons to drink.
There never
In
was
the
an
alley.
intent to consume out the
No,
back door.
Right.
Absolutely not.
So the beverages would never leave the building. It was just access to either have the door open while weather was permitting and whatever we needed to do to stay in compliance to allow that, which I believe we've been told that we could put a rope
Yes.
across the garage door,
And I actually have a cute little picket fence that's gonna go up at some point,
but that was what the request was supposed to be, and I think there was maybe confusion on that request.
Mr. Mayfield, maybe we should just table this.
I don't know, what's your desire on that?
What can we do now to resolve this?
Well, right now, I mean, you could just go ahead and decide on it, or you could continue in terms of resolving it right now. I mean, either they have their license or they're not, or they don't, in terms of the CMB. So, I don't know that there's a quick fix for this immediate hearing, apart from either setting it out or deciding it today.
So could we table it while she works on coming into compliance with the codes and?
What else do we have to do to become in compliance, I guess is where the confusion is?
Yeah, that's where I'm confused.
Yeah.
That's where I'm confused.
Because we got the letter, which is what Clinton had requested those 2 city codes to be.
Yeah.
Margot,
If you, make a motion to give them a waiver on this, can't you put some conditions on that? Can't you say if they change what they're doing, we're gonna look at it again?
Either way.
well, I think that's a question for our city attorney.
I do too, because I think the state statute says that they have to have 2 restrooms.
Well, we don't have anything in our books that say that.
But we can't go against the state statutes.
So
We
you're
can't.
gonna have to shut down multiple restaurants and businesses in town. You're gonna pull the plug on Marion. Over a
I
back
did
road.
read the general state statutes on CMB license, and I don't remember seeing any of that code.
It's just a city code, it's not a,
No, she's saying it's state
I
statute.
think it's a state statute, I didn't have them print that out, but
I have another question then.
Yeah,
Do local regs override state statute or the other way around?
State statutes would be, unless there was some kind of home rule, but for something like this, it's gonna be state statute.
well, personally, I'd like to read this, I'd like to know what the state statute says in its entirety.
well, let's table it. And then we can do some more research, and she can work on getting her conditional use permit or whatever's necessary, and maybe work with Tiff and something back there to see what you need.
If we do that in the meantime, she still doesn't have her C and B, correct?
Which means I have to cancel a photo shoot, which not that alcohol, not that beer makes it anything make or break for us. We're creating an environment, so basically, all of the businesses and people that I'm working with, which are smaller businesses than me that don't even get to have a place on Main Street because they're working, they're trying, they're doing something to make this community better. They've rented our back room because of all the character that we've brought into this building, and they're working on a photo shoot for Valentine's Day for couples, 2 at a time, to come in and have a beverage and have their photography done. So not only are you gonna disrupt my business, you're gonna disrupt business of multiple people by pulling our permit. Multiple artists in the community, none that are terrible or bad people, just trying to support and pay the bills.
What are you talking about?
I have basically our back room is set up where.
No, I mean, what's the date you're talking about?
Right now, we're kinda up in the air, but we were hoping to do it next weekend. So that way all the photos can actually be done by Valentine's Day.
So is it necessary to have the beverages there?
It's a very nice customer service thing. I mean, we're trying to bring character and fun and not trying to bring something to your town. I will point out though, that when we sell beer in our community, I purchase it from 2 small businesses, so we're gonna disrupt another, transaction between 2 businesses. I pay sales tax, I'm not exempt from sales tax on beer, so when I purchase it from the liquor store or from the grocery store here in town, I pay 10% sales tax, which is higher than our normal sales tax rate. Then when I sell that beer again, it is another 10%, so ultimately, you're getting the maximum amount of tax money off of any item that can be sold in Marion. You're receiving 20% sales tax off of every beer I sell.
Bruce, I'm wondering, are you referring to the bathroom thing? Is that City Code 3-218?
Yes.
So that is in fact city code, not state statute then?
This is city code, but I think it is state statute.
Also,
And that's why I would like to have Zach check
okay,
it out.
I didn't know if that, okay. And
Well,
in
I'd like to
addition-
know for sure though, Ruth, if you think, do you know for sure?
Before you start pulling people's license.
I mean, that makes a big difference. Do you not know for sure if it's state statute?
No, that's why I'm asking Zach to check it
Okay.
out.
And if I may, I'm happy to look into any of these statutes. I had done the research that I thought we needed, and it sounds like there may have been some additional statutes or issues that were being brought to my attention today. More